vitamin D insufficiency and deficiency, there are acute effects where, like, if it's severe, it can cause rickets and like bone malformations and stuff, especially if it's happening early in life. But what we now know is that being deficient or insufficient in vitamin D can increase dementia risk by 80%.
Vitamin D is more than just a vitamin. It functions as a steroid hormone that regulates over 5% of the human genome. Despite its importance, about 70% of the U.S. population has insufficient vitamin D levels, largely due to modern indoor lifestyles, sunscreen use, skin pigmentation, and geographic latitude limiting UVB exposure. Deficiency is insidious, often unnoticed until long-term damage accumulates. Multiple studies have shown that low vitamin D levels significantly increase the risk of dementia by up to 80%. Conversely, supplementation with vitamin D3 can reduce dementia risk by 40% and improve cognition in those already affected. Vitamin D also influences mood and depression, and its deficiency is linked to increased brain damage, particularly white matter hyperintensities that impair neural communication. Optimal blood levels for lowest all-cause mortality range between 40 to 80 nanograms per milliliter, with insufficiency defined below 30 nanograms per milliliter and deficiency below 20 nanograms per milliliter. Supplementation around 4,000 IU daily is often sufficient to restore adequate levels. Given its low cost and profound impact on brain health and aging, vitamin D supplementation is a simple, effective intervention to improve long-term cognitive outcomes.
As we age, certain areas of the brain which is involved in learning and memory starts to shrink by about 1 to 2% per year. The good news is, studies show that people being part of an exercise protocol, not only did they not have their hippocampus shrink, it actually grew by 1 to 2%.
Aging naturally causes brain atrophy, especially in the hippocampus, a critical region for learning and memory, which shrinks approximately 1 to 2% annually starting around midlife. However, aerobic exercise has been shown to not only halt this shrinkage, but actually promote growth of the hippocampus by 1 to 2%. In a landmark study involving older adults, around 60 years old, participants who engaged in moderate to vigorous aerobic exercise 3 times a week for 30 minutes experienced this remarkable neurogenesis, while a control group doing stretching exercises saw continued shrinkage. Exercise stimulates the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often called miracle-grow for the brain, which supports neuron growth, synaptic plasticity, and cognitive function. Moreover, higher cardiorespiratory fitness correlates with an 80% reduced risk of dementia. Exercise also improves mood, motivation, and focus, making it a powerful tool for both immediate and long-term brain health. Importantly, benefits are achievable even when starting exercise later in life, emphasizing that it is never too late to improve brain aging trajectories.
When you start to push yourself really hard, you can't get the oxygen to your muscles quick enough, but you need to make the energy. And so your body decides to make energy in the form of ATP without the mitochondria, and it uses glucose to do that.
During vigorous exercise, when oxygen delivery to muscles becomes insufficient for mitochondrial energy production, the body shifts to anaerobic metabolism, producing ATP quickly from glucose, but generating lactate as a byproduct. Contrary to old beliefs, lactate is not merely a waste product causing muscle burn. It acts as a vital signaling molecule, an alternative energy source. Lactate circulates to organs like the brain, heart, and liver, where it is consumed for energy. In the brain, lactate stimulates the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, enhancing neurogenesis, synaptic connectivity, and neuroplasticity. It also boosts neurotransmitters such as norepinephrine and serotonin, improving focus, mood, and impulse control. High-intensity interval training, such as the Norwegian 4x4 protocol, 4 4-minute intervals at 80% max heart rate with recovery periods, maximizes lactate production and cardiovascular adaptations. This type of exercise is more effective at improving cardiorespiratory fitness and brain health than moderate-intensity steady-state exercise. Incorporating even minimal weekly high-intensity interval training sessions can yield significant longevity and cognitive benefits.
Smoking was like as bad for you in terms of mortality as having a low omega-3 index.
Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA from marine sources like salmon, are essential for cardiovascular health, brain function, and inflammation resolution. The omega-3 index, measuring EPA and DHA levels in red blood cells, reflects long-term omega-3 status. Studies show that individuals with a high omega-3 index live approximately 5 years longer than those with a low index. Remarkably, low omega-3 status confers a mortality risk comparable to smoking. Smokers with high omega-3 levels have similar mortality risk to non-smokers with low omega-3, highlighting the critical role of these fatty acids. Supplementation with 1 to 2 grams of fish oil daily can raise omega-3 index effectively. Omega-3s also reduce cardiovascular events by 25% in patients with existing heart disease and improve mental health by mitigating inflammation-linked depression. While whole fish consumption provides omega-3s in triglyceride form with additional nutrients, purified fish oil supplements avoid contaminants like mercury and microplastics. Ensuring adequate omega-3 intake is a simple, impactful strategy to enhance longevity and reduce disease risk.
If you take someone and you sleep deprive them for 21 hours and give them about 25 to 30 grams of creatine, it completely negates the cognitive deficits of sleep deprivation. Actually, not only does it negate the cognitive deficits of sleep deprivation, it makes people function better than if they were well rested.
Creatine, widely known for enhancing muscle strength and training volume, also plays a crucial role in brain energy metabolism. The brain synthesizes some creatine but benefits from supplementation, especially under stress conditions like sleep deprivation, psychological stress, or high cognitive load. Studies show that high doses, 20 to 30 grams of creatine, can fully reverse cognitive impairments caused by 21 hours of sleep deprivation, even improving function beyond well-rested levels. Creatine supports rapid ATP regeneration, critical for neurons during demanding tasks. Vegans and vegetarians who consume little dietary creatine may particularly benefit. Emerging research also suggests creatine's potential antidepressant effects and cognitive improvements in Alzheimer's disease, possibly through anti-inflammatory mechanisms. Unlike muscle saturation, which occurs after weeks of supplementation, brain creatine levels can increase with higher doses, providing acute cognitive benefits. Creatine is safe, inexpensive, and effective, making it a valuable supplement for both physical and mental performance.
Generally speaking, it's the clearing out of damaged stuff within your cell. So what is damaged stuff? It can be protein aggregates. For example, if we think about in neurons, amyloid beta protein aggregates. So autophagy could play a role in clearing that out.
Autophagy is a vital cellular process that removes damaged proteins, organelles, and other cellular debris, maintaining cell health and function. This process is especially important in neurons, where accumulation of protein aggregates like amyloid beta plaques contributes to neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Autophagy also includes mitophagy, the selective removal of damaged mitochondria, preventing oxidative stress and cellular dysfunction. Autophagy is primarily activated during fasting states, typically after 12 to 16 hours of not eating, when liver glycogen stores are depleted. While human data is limited, animal studies strongly support fasting-induced autophagy as a mechanism for improved metabolic health, reduced inflammation, and longevity. Intermittent fasting, or time-restricted eating, e.g., eating within a 6 to 10 hour window, can promote autophagy and improve glucose regulation and blood pressure beyond calorie restriction alone. To preserve muscle mass during fasting, adequate protein intake, 1 2 to 1 6 gram per kilogram per day, and resistance training are essential. Stopping food intake 3 hours before bedtime may also improve sleep quality by aligning with circadian rhythms and melatonin production.
There have been studies that have looked at people that exercise on a stationary bike, or they exercise on a stationary bike and then follow that up with a 15-minute sauna. And it's been shown that those people that do the 15-minute sauna on top of the exercise have a higher improvement in their cardiorespiratory fitness.
Deliberate heat exposure through traditional saunas, 175 to 180 grams, induces physiological responses similar to moderate intensity aerobic exercise, including increased heart rate, cardiac output, and blood flow. Studies show that combining sauna sessions with exercise enhances improvements in cardiorespiratory fitness, lipid profiles, and blood pressure beyond exercise alone. Regular sauna use, 4 to 7 times per week, is associated with significant reductions in cardiovascular and all-cause mortality. Infrared saunas, which operate at lower temperatures, around 140 degrees Fahrenheit, require longer exposure times to achieve similar benefits and may not replicate all effects of traditional saunas. Heat therapy also elevates growth hormone and IGF-2, which support memory and learning. Emerging research demonstrates profound antidepressant effects from repeated infrared sauna sessions that raise core body temperature by around 2 degrees Celsius, especially when combined with cognitive behavioral therapy. Sauna use also promotes sleep by increasing somnogenic cytokines. Dr. Patrick personally uses sauna sessions to improve stress resilience, cognitive rehearsal, and sleep quality, highlighting its multifaceted benefits for brain and cardiovascular health.
It's something that is required for, over 300 different enzymes in your body need it to function properly. So it's what's called a cofactor. And I mentioned DNA repair enzymes. So it's also used to make energy. So you need magnesium to make energy and to use energy. You need magnesium to repair damage that's happening all the time.
Magnesium is a critical mineral involved as a cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including DNA repair, energy production, and neurotransmission. Despite its importance, nearly 50% of the U.S. population is magnesium deficient due to poor dietary intake, primarily from insufficient consumption of leafy greens and whole foods. Magnesium deficiency impairs DNA repair enzymes, leading to accumulation of genetic damage that increases cancer risk. Notably, a 24% rise in pancreatic cancer incidence per 100 milligrams decrease in intake. Magnesium also facilitates the conversion of vitamin D3 into its active steroid hormone form, linking deficiencies in both nutrients. Studies show that individuals with higher magnesium levels have 40% lower all-cause mortality and 50% lower cancer-related mortality. Athletes require even more magnesium due to increased losses. Because magnesium is prioritized for immediate energy needs over long-term repair, triage theory, chronic deficiency accelerates aging and disease. Supplementation and dietary improvements can easily correct deficiency, supporting longevity and disease prevention.
If I could go back in time, I would change my decision to only have one child, and I would have another child.
Why?
Because I love being a mother. I love the joy that children bring to your life. It's unexplainable until you experience it.
Dr. Patrick reflects on her personal decision to have only one child, expressing regret and emphasizing the profound joy motherhood brings. She highlights the challenges of balancing a high-performance career with family life, noting that many women delay childbearing due to professional pursuits and societal pressures. This delay can limit reproductive options due to the biological clock. Advances in fertility preservation, such as egg and embryo freezing, offer opportunities to extend reproductive potential, but awareness and acceptance remain limited. Early family planning, even if imperfect timing, preserves future options and reduces regret. The conversation underscores the importance of discussing fertility openly, destigmatizing preservation technologies, and encouraging individuals to consider their reproductive goals proactively. Dr. Patrick's candid sharing resonates with many high-achieving women who face similar dilemmas, emphasizing that personal fulfillment and family life are deeply intertwined and worthy of intentional planning.